All right, we're back with another Prize Picks video. Going to be talking NFL Sunday. We got picks from the 1 o'clock games. We got picks from the 4 o'clock games. We even got a pick for a Sunday night football. So kind of throughout the whole board, we're going to be finding a lot of value. And I'm going to bring you guys my favorite 6 plays. But some of them aren't very flashy. We got some tackles and assists. We got some kicking points. So I'm going to give you my first 6 plays that I'm really liking. Then I'm going to give you 6 more plays that I also really like. But they're more fun, to watch the games plays, but also have the analysis behind all of them. So really giving you guys 12 plays, so ton of value in this video. But if you're new to this, we rip out daily videos, NBA every single day, football whenever it comes up, and we're definitely going to start doing college basketball. We're going to start doing college football again. I want to start doing videos on NHL, so really just going to keep the content coming. And if you're looking for consistency, it's right here. So hit that subscribe button, get the notification bell on so you can see these lines before they change. And comment down below if you like one of these picks, if you don't like one of these picks, and maybe if you're taking a different play. And just love to hear you guys in the comments. But yeah, let's jump into the board. Again, going over a lot of plays, so let's just jump right into it. First one is going to be Elijah Molden. 5.5 tackles and assists. Again, not the flashiest of lines, but we're going under here for him. Let's go open up his page here on Outlier. Elijah Molden. Also, any of these tools that I'm using, I have links down in the description for free trials on all of them, and even a discount on OddsJam, which is another tool I'll be showing in a second. But definitely check those out if you're interested. They're super useful. And again, free trials. You can't beat that. Elijah Molden. Let's go open up his page. We're looking at his under here. Now he's gone under this line in 4 of 7 games, so immediately something we really like. And then he's going up against Jacksonville, who's pretty middle of the road in terms of tackles and assists against. So nothing crazy for opponent. That's not like pushing us one direction. But it's plus money to go over this. Plus 105 to go over. The under is a minus 135. Again, we're trying to take advantage of PrizePicks giving us fixed lines. And when we think about 5 and 6 picks plays for PrizePicks and we do the math out, it's minus 119 odds. So anything better than that, we're definitely getting a deal, especially on plays that we really like. So Elijah Molden, again, under in 4 of 7 games. Again, his matchup shouldn't be too much of an issue. But yeah, really liking this. Let's see what OddsJam has to say. This is pretty much a calculator for all things sports betting. And whenever it's green, that means it's a really good play. When it's orange, it's saying that's absolutely. And these red ones, it's saying, mathematically you're not in the right spot. You're almost there. But when you have the additional data with how they've been doing the season, their matchups and things like that, and also just the knowledge of the game, you can find these good bets as well. So these are all going to be green bets. You only have about 10 or so of those at max on PrizePicks at a time, but just kind of showing you what these different tools give us. So let's find Molden here. We can just search him up and kind of see what the projection is and what other sportsbooks have his line at. So Elijah Molden, let's open up that. And looks like his best play, it actually is an orange play. So that's looking really good for us. 5.5 is the line we have. Again, this is integrated with PrizePicks. This is the fantasy optimizer tool. So again, link in the free trial. Sometimes I just go on there and take green plays. I've been betting on what's it called? Counter-Strike, and I don't even know what that practically is. And I hit a 6-man literally yesterday. So I showed that in my video before that. I'm not going to go over that again, but just kind of showing the power of this tool. So Elijah Molden, 53.99% chance to hit this. Other sports books, DraftKings got him at minus 135. BetMGM has a minus 145. Underdog actually has his line at 5.0. So again, all these sports books are really loving this under for a 5.5. And first play going to be Elijah Molden. So that will do it for that guy. Let's go into our next play here. Another tackles and assist line. Again, maybe not the flashiest plays, but we're getting the value here. It's going to be Derek Stingley Jr., if I can spell his name right. And we're also going under his tackles and assists. So same kind of process here. Let's go check him out on Outlier, kind of see visually his matchup, how he's been doing so far this year. And let's open up Derek Stingley. And we do see, again, plus money on the over. Under is a minus 135. And again, this is just giving us DraftKings, but that's pretty solid. It allows us to see it right off the bat. And in terms of this year, he's gone under this in 2 or 3 games. Now he did get there against Indiana, but in terms of this matchup, looks like Arizona doesn't give up a whole bunch of assists. And then tackles, again, they're middle of the road. So it's not like they're getting tackled a million times a game, like leading the league. Very middle of the road matchup here. So I'm liking the history. Again, only played 3 games this year. But looking good in terms of outlier. Let's go check out his page on OddsJam. Let's go find him here. Derek Stingley Jr. Apply. And looks like, okay, so he's also an orange bet. So this is really good. Really good start here. 3.5 is the line. Other sports books, again, minus 135, minus 140, minus 133. So we're seeing minus 150 on Fliff. So very similar kind of play here. Finding a bunch of value in these guys, liking their history so far this year. So locking these 2 guys in for sure. Next up, going to go to Jason Myers kicking points. Jason Myers, and it's going to be at 6.5. We're going over on this one for Seattle's kicker. Again, let's go check out his page on Outlier, kind of see how he's been doing so far this year. Jason Myers over kicking points, and he's been killing it. 6 of 9 games he's gone over this. He's gotten 7 a few times, 6 in a few of these other games. That makes sense. Whether that's a combination. Actually, we can actually check. See, they give you all this data. So 2 made field goals. That's what I was going to guess. Oh no, I guess not on these ones. Whatever combination it is. Looks like he's pretty consistently going over this line, and 6 of 9. In addition to that, he's going up against a team in the Chargers that are giving up 60 kicking points on the year, which is ranked 24th. So, could be a lot of kicking points to be had here. Maybe they're getting stopped in the red zone or things like that. But really liking this right off the bat, liking the odds. Looks like it's plus 120 to go under this, guys. We have to take advantage of this. Minus 130 to go over, plus 120 to go under. But let's check out what other sportsbooks have. Again, the Outlier only gives us 1 or 2. Let's kind of see what the percent chance of this going over for us. Jason Myers. Let's go check him out. Go to apply. Kicking points, 52.79%. So not the best one, but almost at 53, which is pretty solid with the data backing it up. Looks like, again, DraftKings minus 130, BetMGM minus 135, 153 on Pinnacle, which is said to be one of the sharpest sports books out there. So really, really liking this, especially with this Pinnacle at minus 153 to go over. So Jason Myers looking really good as well. Next up, let's get into our 4th play here. We're going to go to Carlton Davis. Another tackles and assist line, guys. I've been killing it on tackles and assist lines so far this year. Again, they're not flashy, but it seems like you can get very good value on these plays. And it kind of makes sense. People are, they're tuned into the receptions, the receiving yards, the passing yards, the rushing yards, things like that. So it makes sense that you're getting some decent value on these other, kind of alternate lines. Carlton Davis over, what do we got? 3.5? 3.5 tackles assists. If we can even find him. You get dropped. No, there he is. Carlton Davis over 3.5 tackles and assists. Let's go check him out on Outlier, what he's been doing this year. So let's go find him. Carlton. Where are you? Carlton. There he is. All right, let's open up his page. Looking like, again, plus 100. So pretty even on the under, minus 130 on the over. He's gone over this in 4 of 6 games. The times he missed it, he got 3. So pretty close there. In terms of his matchup, again, not the best matchup, but not the worst. Looks like they give up 9, the 9th, or what I don't even know how to say that, 41.7 tackles against per game. So that's ranked 9th. Their assists, they give up a few more, 24.2, which is ranked 20th. So these pretty much even out to be around middle of the league in terms of giving up tackles and assists. But again, 4 or 6 games, pretty solid there. Let's go check them out on OddsJam, see what the other sportsbooks are saying. Are we getting good value on this play? So let's find Carlton Davis, the 3rd. And it looks like, 53.09. So this is over 53% with some data, with solid data backing it up. And let's check out what these other guys are saying. Minus 130 on DraftKings, minus 135 on BetMGM. Caesar's got it minus 133. Fliff's got it at minus 145. And again, with these 5 and 6 pick plays, we're getting it at minus 119. We're getting a deal on this. So just to give you a little inside scoop here, 2-man plays are minus 136 odds. So they are one of the worst play. Not one of the worst. I guess they're one of the better ones. Or middle of the road. The worst play you could do is a 3-man flex play. I just realized that. 3-man power plays are minus 140. 4-man power plays or flex plays are minus 132. 4-man power plays minus 128. And then the 5 and 6-man flex plays are minus 119. So that's pretty much your best bet, is always to do 5 and 6-man flex plays. if you're going to do anything else, it's probably a 4-man power. But just a little, I thought that was interesting when I got signed up with Odds Jam. Gives you all this information. It's so useful. But yeah, really liking this line for our boy Carlton Davis, and let's lock him in. So over 3.5 tackles and assists. Let's kind of keep it rolling. Again, we got 6 more picks that are kind of more fun plays after this. So after these like official video picks, we'll go into those. This might be one of my favorite plays of the day, though. David Montgomery, and it's a fun play. David Montgomery over 0.5 passing, rushing, and receiving touchdowns. This is crazy odds. Okay, now I'm gonna have to use a different tool on Odds Jam, but it's absolutely crazy. We're going over this. Fun one. Watch that Lions game if you bet on this. We will see that they don't have touchdown lines, or some of them aren't on this fantasy optimizer. So if we look up Montgomery, we're just not going to see that line come up, which is unfortunate because I think we have a very good chance of hitting this. So we'll see his rush attempts, rushing yards, everything else, pretty much except for that touchdowns line. But OddsJam is very useful. They have so many different types of subscriptions and types of tools that you can use. So one of the other ones is the sportsbook screen. Now, this is ridiculously helpful if you take advantage of getting all your promotions from all these other sports books. You just sign up. Takes 5 minutes, 3 minutes to sign up for these things. They're throwing money at you to sign up. But this is, again, kind of more in-depth if you're really into sports betting. You have all these plays. You can see the best odds throughout the entirety of how many sports books you have. I just have all of them lined up right now. So let's go to our player props here. Let's go to touchdowns, if I can find that. Geez, there's so many props. Player touchdowns right here. Here we go. So player touchdowns. Let's go into the games just to make it easier. Chicago and Detroit is already selected, probably because I already looked this up. And let's just try to find... do I have this selected? No, unselected. Here we go. Let's go find David Montgomery here and kind of see what every sportsbook is saying about this. So David Montgomery, 0.5. The over, the best odds you're going to get on anything is minus 105. But if we look at some of these sportsbooks, BetMGM has this at a minus 200. Minus 200 to go over this. We're getting it at minus 119. Minus 143. Minus 150. Minus 153. I mean, it's just crazy. Everyone is heavily favoring this to go over. Not sure why this line is on PrizePicks. I wonder if it will get dropped. But crazy, crazy value on David Montgomery here. So yeah, really, really liking that. I actually haven't checked his outlier page. But, he's been pretty solid this year. Let's go check him out and see what he's been doing. Let's get to his touchdowns. And, oh yeah, 5 or 6 games that he's played. He was injured a little bit. But 5 or 6 games that he's played, he's got a touchdown. So makes sense. He's also going up against the Bears, who give up 2.9 touchdowns per game. That doesn't include passing touchdowns, I believe. So probably is total, maybe. But again, minus 135 odds just right here that we're seeing. But we saw crazy odds, minus 200 on BetMGM. So ridiculously good value here on David Montgomery. Really good matchup against the Bears. And yeah, really loving this play. Probably my favorite play of the day. Okay, let's finish this up. What do we got? 5 picks in here. Let's get our last one here, and it's going to be Joshua Dobbs. And we're going to his 5.5 rush attempts. Funny one, but he's gone over this in 4 straight games, and he's on a new team, which he just had his most rush attempts ever this year. So going over this rush attempts at 5.5. Let's go check him out. Pull up his page. Joshua Dobbs. New Minnesota quarterback here with Kirk Cousins going down. Let's go to his 5.5 rush attempts. And we can see 7 to 10 games this year he's gone over this. Also 5 straight. I don't know why it was showing on PrizePicks didn't include that. Interesting. Because on his line it had said 4 straight. I don't know. Well, he's gone over this in... I'm trusting outlier here. PrizePicks does some funky stuff sometimes. Over this in 5 straight games. Again, had 12 attempts back in San Francisco. So I guess he has his second best last game. But, looks pretty solid. They give up a whole bunch of rushing attempts to just in general, but 2 quarterbacks. I think I already pulled that up here. 2 quarterbacks rush attempts per game. The Broncos are also giving up the second most at 5.78. So really liking the history so far this year. Loving the matchup here. Let's see what we have on the fantasy optimizer over on OddsJam, just to kind of. Oh, look at this. He's a green bet. 5.5 is a green bet. 54.58% chance to hit that. Look at the odds everywhere else. Minus 160 on Flip. Minus 170 on Hot Streak. Caesar's got it minus 148. So, guys, just take advantage of these. You will be winning in the long run. Dobbs is going to be our last play. So these are our 6 plays for the first ones. Again, this is going to be a longer video, but going to give you guys 12 plays that should be really, really good for tomorrow. And yeah, take advantage of all that value we can get. So Elijah Molden, under 5.5 tackles assists. Derek Stingley, under 3.5 tackles and assists. Jason Myers, over 6.5 kicking points. Carlton Davis, over 3.5 tackles and assists. David Montgomery, loving this play because it's a fun one and it's a really good one. 0.5 touchdowns pretty much over that. And then Joshua Dobbs over his 5.5 rush attempts. So I already locked this in. Don't worry. I'll be showing it, when we have Monday Night Football to go over. Or when we do that video, I'll go over these picks. But yeah, already locked that in. Really, really excited about those. But next up, maybe you guys don't want to be betting on tackles and assists. I totally get that. So let's jump into our second kind of part of this video and get some more fun ones on the board. Now, I will say there's some unders here, and we'll get those out of the way early. But let's go to Michael Mayer, and let's go to his receptions line, and we're going under here. So let's pull up his outlier page, just like we always do, kind of visualize what he's been doing so far this year. Oops, spelled his name right. See an A. He's an A. Michael Mayer, we're going under his 2.5 receptions, and we can see he's gone under this in 8 of 10 games. So right off the bat, really liking that. The odds are kind of saying it right off the bat again, minus 130 odds, so take advantage of that value right there. Now he's going up against the Dolphins, who are allowing 23 receptions per game. But if we go to tight ends, I guess it's a little worse, but whatever. Not the best matchup in the world. Again, it's not like they're giving up the most receptions in the league. But yeah, so not the best opponent rank, but you got to give and take some of these things. Really liking the history, 8 of 10 games under. Really liking the odds, but let's go check out kind of every book out there. Michael Mayer, or Michael Mayer. Am I saying that wrong? I'm saying Michael Mayer because that's the murder guy from Halloween or whatever. So again, another orange bet here, 2.5 receptions is what we're getting on PrizePicks. FanDuel's got this at minus 166, guys. FanDuel, minus 166. Minus 136 on Pinnacle, one of the sharper ones out there. Bovada's got it at minus 135. You see all the value here. We're getting at minus 119. History's looking good. The only thing is maybe the matchup here, so if you're scared about that, maybe don't take this one. But that'll be our first under for this kind of second part of the video. Next up, going to Austin Eckler. Don't want to do it, but I have to go under his receptions as well, 4.5. Just seeing a ton of value there, and he's been going under this line pretty consistently so far this year. I think he's only gone over it once. But let's get Eckler here. Pull him up. We'll go to his receptions, and we're going under. Minus 125 right off the rip. Again, he only went over once against the Bears, so kind of makes sense there. But yeah, consistently, under with maybe 4, so maybe some sweating here, but not the end of the world. We'll take 4 any day of the week as long as he doesn't get 5. Also going up against Green Bay, who's allowing the seventh most receptions in the league. If we go to running backs, though, I will say they are a little bit worse in terms of that. 5.4 receptions allowed to running backs per game. So, overall, they don't give up a whole bunch of receptions, but to running backs, they maybe give up a little bit more. And Eckler's a hard one to go under here, but taking advantage of what we get in terms of value. Let's go check out what he is on other sports books to kind of compare. Eckler. Austin Eckler. Apply. It's really late in the day. If I keep mumbling my words, I apologize about that. Another orange bet, guys. 4.5. Let's see these odds. So first of all, FanDuel has it at 3.5. Now they do have it a plus 136 to go under this line. So it looks like sportsbooks are thinking he's going to get 4, which is fine with us if he gets 4. He just can't get 5. Minus 125 on DraftKings, minus 150 on BetMGM. Pinnacle's got him at minus 124. So again, really, really liking this. The sportsbooks are liking it. His history says pretty solid. Again, maybe just his matchup isn't the best, but Green Bay doesn't give up a whole bunch of receptions. It's just to running backs, so I'm liking it. So Austin Eckler under here. Again, if you're really worried about opponent ranks here, maybe don't go for these guys, but I showed you everything else. Next up, let's get into our some more fun plays. We're going over on some of these guys. So Calvin Ridley, we're going over his 3.5 receptions. Let's check out his outlier page, see what he's been doing, and why we're going with him. So Ridley, Calvin Ridley, Jacksonville. We're going to his receptions line, and right off the bat, minus 135. Immediately catches your eyes. Now, he has only gone over this line in 4 of 9 games, so it hasn't hit it in more than 50% of the games, just under that. But going up against a solid defense here, or a solid matchup for him, overall they're only giving up 21.7, which is very middle of the road. But if we put this to wide receivers, they're giving up 15, which is actually 28th in league, so one of the worst. So Ridley could be in a really good spot here. If you're someone that looks very strongly at opponent matchups, I understand. This is a good one for you. So we have to give and take with these things. Under 50% on the season going under this line or over this line, but going up against a defense that gives up a ton against wide receivers. Now let's see what other sportsbooks are thinking about it and where their lines and heads are at. Let's go to Calvin Ridley. Open up his page, and we see that his under receptions, that's Eckler. Ridley's right under him, my bad. His over receptions, his 3.5, is at a 53.82%, so very solid. I know it's showing up as red, but that's very solid when you have other data points to look at and back it up. So sportsbooks have him. FanDuel's got him at minus 140. We got Pinnacle, or Caesars got him at minus 137. Pinnacle's got him at minus 137, so they even like it a little bit better than our Eckler line. So again, like the matchup, all things checking out, and Ridley will be our third play, and maybe one of our more fun plays to go for today. So Calvin Ridley over 3.5 receptions. Let's get into our fourth pick right here. Next one's going to be Will Levis. This might be a push play here, guys, but kind of another fun one to watch. Maybe you don't want to be watching Will Levis, but it's a touchdowns line. And it's going to be his 1.0 passing touchdowns. Let's go check out why. Again, this is one that might not show up on the Fantasy Optimizer. We might have to go back to the Sportsbook screen, but we'll see that in a second. Will Levis, it might show up. Yeah, we got him right here. Passing touchdowns. Looks like they think it's a 53.57% chance to hit over this 1.0 line, but no one is thinking he's getting under this. He's either getting one or more. That's what it looks like. 0.5 lines are at minus 260, minus 275, minus 298 on Pinnacle to go over this 0.5 line. So again, if you're someone that maybe is scared about pushes, or you don't like to get rid of one of your plays, I really don't mind them if the odds are looking good and I'm getting good value on it. These are ridiculous odds to at least push. And again, he could totally go over this. Now I will open up his outlier page here. I think he's only started 3 or so games for the Titans so far this year, but let's look him up and kind of see what he's done. I know he went off in one of these games. Let's go to passing touchdowns. We are going over here, and again, they're showing FanDuel, DraftKings, and Caesars. They got this at minus 250. We just checked his page already, and it's crazy, these odds to go over at least 0.5. And again, yeah, he went up against Atlanta and killed them 4 touchdowns. His last 2, did he start these games? I think he did. Yeah, so he started these games. No passing touchdowns against Pittsburgh or Tampa Bay. But again, solid matchup against Jacksonville. They're giving up 1.6 passing touchdowns per game, which is ranked 24th. So a good matchup for him to be able to get there. Odds are absolutely loving this to at least push. So really liking Will Levis in this spot. Next up, God, I'm like running out of breath. I've been talking so long. So many good picks out, guys. Kenneth Walker the third. Yes, the third. I almost said junior. Kenneth Walker the third. We're going to his rush attempts, and we're going to 15.5. I probably should have typed a little bit more. 15.5. All right, here we go. Rush attempts. We're going over this as well. He's on my fantasy team, so this is also like a homer pick, but odds are really loving it. He's been killing it this year. But let's open up his outlier page. Let's go to Kenneth Walker the third. Rush attempts are top of his list, and he's gone over this in 6 of 9 games. So right off the bat, looking really good. If you're someone that likes the history, that looks good. Let's see his matchup. Looks really good. Going up against the Rams, allowing 29.1 rush attempts against per game. That's ranked 26th. Really, really liking that. So Kenneth Walker could find himself in a position to run the ball a lot, especially if they're up in this game, which it's a pretty neutral spread, minus 1.5 for Seattle. They are favorited. So if they find themselves in the lead, that's just an added bonus to this one. So right off the bat, Kenneth Walker looking really good. This is more of a 50-50 play in terms of the odds, but I do want to see what Odds Jim has to say about him. Kenneth Walker the third. Let's apply that. And looks like, here, let's get Will Levis out of there. Kenneth. Looks like his rushing yards under is the best, quote-unquote, chance to hit play, which, you know, sometimes I just strictly go off chance to hit, especially when they're green plays. But what are we going over? We're going over his rush attempts. That's the next one up. 51.99% chance to go over this. Looks like FanDuel's got it at minus 114, DraftKings minus 125, BetMGM has it at minus 135. Pinnacle doesn't have a line out for them, but I usually like to check theirs out if they do. But yeah, some of these have them very heavily favored to go over this line. We like the odds. We like the matchup. We even like the game script on this one. And he's on my fantasy team, so that's even better. So Kenneth Walker III will be our fifth fun play, part 2 of this video. Next up, let's get our last guy to complete this 6-man. And it's going to be the Rook, Devon Achane. I never know how to say this guy's name. 45.5 rushing yards. This is kind of another one that's maybe not the best in terms of like percentage and mathematics. But let's see what he's done. He's coming back from injury, expected to play. He's been out for a few weeks, at least 4, I want to say. Maybe more than that. Let's pull up his page here. I don't know what I just sorted by, but we're going to his 45.5 rush attempts. We're going over. It is favored to go over. The under is a minus 105. Again, that's just on Caesars or something, DraftKings. The over is a minus 145. Now, he was absolutely killing these lines before he got injured, so that could be a concern. But I see in football typically, just from my experience, when players do return, they're usually around 100%. They're not going to rush them back from an injury. So I don't think he's going to get limited. I looked at RotoWire and saw what they had to say about him. They don't think he's going to be too limited either. So I expect him to, get a decent amount of run today. And we've seen him absolutely crush this line before in a very good matchup against Las Vegas. 29th rank, 135.6 rushing yards allowed per game. Loving the spot for him. Do want to see what OddsJam has to say about him in terms of like their percentage to hit this, though. Let's go find him. I'm avoiding saying his last name just because I forget if it's Achane or Achane. 52.49. That's his receptions. Over rushing yards, 45.5. So they got it at 51.33. It's still over a 50% chance to hit this. FanDuel's got his line at 47.5 at a minus 114. So that's a good sign. All these other guys still minus 125s, pretty much across the board. So pretty good spot for him. Hopefully comes back, healthy and strong. And again, another kind of fun play. So if you kind of skip to the end of this video, these aren't just the only 6 plays. I gave 6 more plays with analysis and everything on top of that. I'm running out of breath. This video is almost 30 minutes, but do kind of want to recap the plays we have. And I actually just posted them, so we can just go over in here and look at our open entries. So we got Elijah Molden, under 5.5 tackles and assists. We got Derek Stingley Jr. under 3.5 tackles and assists. We got Jason Myers over 6.5 kicking points. Carlton Davis over 3.5 tackles and assists. David Montgomery, really loving this one. It's also a fun one. Over 0.5 rushing, passing, and receiving touchdowns, so pretty much just touchdowns. Joshua Dobbs over 5.5 rush attempts. Again, if you're someone that skips to the end of these videos, there's a lot of data that goes into, or a lot of analysis, a lot of data that goes into these picks. This isn't just like randomness. You'll see that by me taking tackles and assists and kicking points lines. I'm just taking the best value out there and trying to bring that to you guys. But we did get some fun plays in here, a little more, watchable plays. Michael Mayer under 2.5 receptions. Austin Eckler under 4.5 receptions. Calvin Ridley over 3.5 receptions. Will Levis over. I was correct. 1.0 passing touchdowns. The sportsbooks were absolutely loving that. It's like minus 300 on some places to go over 0.5. So that's push potential, but he should have a chance to get over that for sure going up against Jacksonville. Kenneth Walker III over 15.5 rush attempts. And then Devon Achane over 45.5 rushing yards. So that will do it for this one, guys. Again, ton of plays. I'm not going to do this every single time. Just let me know what you guys prefer. Do you want the best picks for me? Do you like, more watchable plays that you can get? This one you got both, but, can't always give you all these picks. But I'm going to keep doing as much as I can. Keep ripping out these videos. I love making these for you guys. Let me hear you guys in the comments. Definitely like this video, and let's have a fun, profitable Sunday. Be on the lookout for NBA video too. That will come out. Maybe I'll just do that now to try to get that out early because some Sunday games start early. But I'm running out of breath. Let's make some money. Peace out.